Ciao Nicola.
Ciao.
I'm very happy to be here with you today.
Either.
So we're going to talk about your new project, Hub and Spoke Italy, and the startup scene in Sardinia and Cagliari in general. But maybe to start with, maybe you can start with a presentation of yourself and of your business activity, so to give a background to this conversation.
Okay. So say hello all. I have a double life. I'm a kind of advisor for startups, so I'm really, in this 3 years of working experience, I'm really involved in the startup scene, especially in Sardinia. And I like to do the good, to give some good advices for startups who want to migrate from idea to product. Meanwhile, I have some other activities such as this. For instance, this co-working, which is a brand new co-working, which has been opening like 2 weeks ago. The name of this co-working is Hub and Spoke. And Hub and Spoke is probably an already known name because it's a name of a system network, which is it's suitable with a bicycle because it's a hub and spoke, but it's an organization model. That means that you can optimize your performance or your opportunities without having with a hub and a spoke that can collaborate together. That means that that's the concept of a hub and spoke. So the concept is that you have a hub, you have a home where you can work, where you can have some kind of opportunities, but meanwhile you have a kind of community of people who work here or just surrounded this space who can collaborate together and hopefully create value.
Now this place is really new, and by the way we can hear it with the echo of my voice. That's good, it's proof, because we're really in a new meeting room, everything is not finished yet. So you said it opened 2 weeks ago. Can you give us more background into how this project was born? I mean, when did you have the idea, who's behind it, how long did it take to...
It was like, I think it was 3 years ago.
Okay.
Me and my co-founder, it's called Filippo, we just came up with this place and say, wow, this is a huge place, this is the place where you can do something for the ecosystem. A big place where you don't have just to do just a rent place where people can work, or rent place where some kind of company can pay a rent, but a place where you can build a value, where you can create something. So do something with a specific impact for the ecosystem. It can be social, it can be economic, whatever, something for the ecosystem. So in 3 years we spent a lot of days, a lot of months working for the concept, working for the needs of our potential co-workers. I'm really interested in the special needs of people. I study the needs of customers. So first of all, I study needs of freelance or startups and so on. And afterwards, we decided to do this kind of investments. And this kind of investment means like to give another life of these places which have the best destination of Chinese shop. Now it's completely different, and it's a place where people can collaborate together and contaminate together.
Can you describe a little bit for the people who will be listening to us, the place, what it looks like or what it's made of? I took a few pictures, but then you said how many square meters, how many working positions, what's the intent behind it?
It's 600 square meters, and we built up not to fit as much desk as possible, because this is not a sharing desk place. It's a place where you can have some kind of opportunity. So the biggest part of the place is for meetings, for network, for conference, for workshops. Just like 40% of the place is for working.
For real work? No, I'm joking.
we personally believe that the main work is not done beside in front of the monitor, but it is by building a network relations. So places for relations are the soul of growth, of synergies.
I noticed there are a few people who are already working, although you opened 2 weeks ago. So who are the people who are already working here? I mean, in terms of profession, or are they individuals, freelancers, startups?
I remember one of my first meeting with a host of co-working who said to me, no matter what the place, no matter whatever, you can be in a constant integration. But the co-working should never be empty. You need a little bit of community who can start to animate this community. So actually, our co-working has kind of a dozen of people, and half of this dozen is come from our other company, which is called Apply, and it's a company who advisor for startups, marketing, and business issues. So half of these are advisor, freelancer, and other are people who want to grow their startup.
What's your plan to communicate about this place and to integrate other startups, or to motivate other startups to come and join here?
We are actually in a test period, so this kind of place, which is really big, needs a lot of tests. We cannot sell anything with not perfect, but almost perfect. The technology infrastructure, everything should work good. So we think that within September we can go with a commercial communication, but we should make some kind of filter, quality filter.
Ideally, who are you targeting?
Basically freelance and startups, but we should find complementary skills. That means that if we have, for instance, 6 or 10 developers, we can, or the same focus, we should look for other. Because if we have a place where all developer or all web designer concentrate here, there's no value. There's no any value of skills, just people who probably competitors in a small city like Cagliari that just work themselves. So the point is look for people who want to collaborate, who are basically complementary, and probably people who came back from their experience in outside
abroad,
abroad, and want to come back here and to put their knowledge to his house.
What's the business model that you're thinking of?
As a co-working, the characteristic business model should be like the rent of places or spaces. But this is not, as I told you, a place where you share the experience, a place where you share opportunities. So we aim to build up something different. We want to promote our conference meeting room because we think that there we can create value. We want to give initially some kind of advice and probably later some kind of acceleration program for people who want to accelerate their idea or they want to build up an idea here in this place. So we hope that later, not now, we do have kind of a different business model.
How did you finance this? I mean, what's the financing behind this project? Because it's quite huge, and maybe you won't have a return on investment very soon. So
my work started. I done a master in management and financial. So one of my first job was financial forecasting. So that's one of my core questions. So what I say, this place has an investor who is owned by the investor who believes in our project.
Who is an individual or it's a company?
It's an individual who was the owner or who owned this this building. The family of this, as I told you, the tour. This building has in the past century another destination. Before the Chinese shop, which is like it was a center of
say it in Italian.
Smistamento, spread milk in all Cagliari. So as I told you, we become a center of milk.
Virtual milk and energy.
Yeah. Now we're working, sharing work. Whatever.
So you don't have pressure. What you're saying is you don't have pressure on immediate return on investment.
How can I say this? The owner of this building, and is the same person who invests to this building to requalify this building, and he believes in our product. Doesn't believe in in a place where you can make money by rent. So by make money by rent is the first income that we prospect, but it's not the reason why the investor invested. Because otherwise you can rent to some other company, big company, and for I don't know how many thousand per month. And this is not the real aim. The aim is to create something that could be remembered, and something that can have a really good impact to the ecosystem. So,
is this project? Well, that's good. Is this project quite unique in Cagliari or in Sardinia? By the size of it, by the ambition, or do you have similar projects?
I think by size, there's one project who is really developed, which is called Open Campus, and it's in Tiscali. It's the co-working accelerator incubator space of Tiscali, and my personal opinion is that it's a really good co-working. There are a lot of people, a lot of good co-workers, good community. It's the head of the Open Campus done a great job. Meanwhile, the Sardinian scene about the sites, about this, it's not that much developed. Probably because the sites is too big, probably. So there's not that much spaces for this project. I mean, like each year in Sardinia there are 2,500 freelance who become freelance. So it's a good market, but it's actually not totally served. We want to give them the access to this. I usually freelance here in Cali, but I think whatever, work in their house, in their home. So we want to promote their next move to here. And the scene actually of co-working, there are probably 4 co-working, but they are really small. There are 10, 15 places, and this basically is a kind of desk sharing. Full stop.
What can you give us a few maybe words, or what's your opinion on the startup scene in Cagliari or in Sardinia in general? Is it emerging? Do you have any idea in terms of figures? Are there any facts and figures about the startup scene, just to see, what stage is it? What's going on?
I like to do a kind of parallelism with the World Cup. Italian World Cup of 1982. As a World Cup,
I'm not a football specialist. Okay. I don't know who won this year. Do I need to know who won this year?
Because in the 1982, Italy won the World Cup.
Okay. I thought so.
And we won each 24 years. Usually.
Okay.
But in this period, from 1882 till 2006, the people who won that World Cup were the people who made the history of Italy. And afterwards, after 2006, the people not disappeared, but more or less. So as the World Cup Italy, that's what happened. This is the same in Sardinia. Probably in the 90s, Sardinia was kind of a really good place where to invest. CSR4, Video Online, Tinit, Tiscali. There are so many huge innovation done here. But between this 90 to today, there are 24 years passed, more or less. So there's a new generation of people who experience it, so free rides sometimes from the experience of this past generation, and the ecosystem now is awakening, so they know what to do, but needs time. Everything like startups need 2-3 years to see some kind of revenue, some kind of to decide what the business model is correct, if the business model is correct. So we need time, but the process is already started.
Engaged?
Yeah.
Can you give us a few examples, maybe 2 or 3 names of Sardinian startups that you think have really interesting potential on a national or international level? Just to give an idea
I had the fortune to collaborate. Sometimes we're still in touch, but 2 years ago I had with the Avinsor, which is a really interesting startups. It's 3 different places. In Cagliari, in Sassari, and in Turin. And they are kind of embedded system company. They work for automotive infotainment, and they are one of the 1 billion company of Sardinia. And they are really good. They are perfect people, really honest, really working for ecosystem. They work for ecosystem. They are present to each conference done for the ecosystem. So they are for us one of the examples of growth and of an ecosystem who is great, is growing. Others are kind of, I don't know, it's Dove Conviene, it's another startup, it's really interesting. I think it's 4 billion company of revenue, and it's really interesting because it's in Cagliari based and it's developing in Italy. What else? It's Money Farm, which is really interesting, even because I've...
it started here?
Yeah. Money Farm is really interesting because it's a financial place where you can invest, but have kind of a startup attitude. So it's not like a bank, but it has a startup attitude. So it's really interesting.
What do you think are the main challenges for startups to grow in Sardinia? Or from being based in Sardinia, to grow from Sardinia?
Sardinia for me is the perfect place for startups who should migrate from idea to product, because each idea should be tested. So if you can test in a place where you can control your early adopters, it's quite good. So if you have a startup, say you want to migrate from, you want to validate your idea to a product, a place where you can meet constantly your early adopters could be really useful for the first step. When you get to the second step, Sardinia is really hard because you don't have contact with the stakeholders who really help you to grow to Series A valuation or something like this. So you should grow up and should not move, but just open other places in Milan or whatever in Europe. So the Shein is really good for me for the first part of the product, cycle of product.
But this is a challenge that is difficult to overcome because you obviously can't change the fact that it's an island or that it's small. Do you think digital technologies can help overcoming this?
I don't think that digital economics will help this. I think that places like this will help this.
Okay.
Because what really missing here in Sardinia could be like, as I told you, is the people, the stakeholders who really can help you to grow. So
you want to attract them to come here?
That's the point. Not me. I don't know if I'm still. We are still young. We are still small. We are still whatever. But I think that the solution of this problem is not just move, but try to attract this kind of people who have the experience, advisor, early evangelist, business angel, seed, and venture capital that can give their experience here to give a really big hand to the ecosystem.
Are you planning to establish for your hub and spoke project? Are you planning to establish some partnerships with other countries, for example, and which ones ideally?
This is one of our composed by 150,000 people who work in Europe. And it's a university association who promote the mobility goal in Europe. So as we learn a lot in those 5-6 years of association, and we know what is important of the networking and mobility. So we want to be partnership, that kind of partnership who promote the mobility of working, the nomadism of working, the wellness of working. So there's all hubs or co-working space or entity who wants to promote the mobility of working. They are kind of perfect potential partners.
Any particular cities or countries you're aiming at?
I would like to do a kind of exchange, working exchange. So my dream, there are 7 people from this co-working who came from 7 days in Berlin and they exchange. So we host 7 people from Berlin who works here just to get to know each other.
Okay.
So, Berlin, Barcelona, whatever, places where the scene of startups, of developers is good. So we can learn from them.
What are your personal sources of inspiration behind this project, or that inspired this project?
My personal inspiration started probably, as I told you, 3 years ago, probably, and it was started from an article who says that the world was changing. The co-working is the paradigm of sharing economy, is the tool of one of the tools of the sharing economy. And they say that actually in the 2020, more or less 40% of people will be, or the workforce, will be freelance. That's the reason why we personally believe that the world is changing, the working world is changing. So we think that as a Uber has 80 to 1 ratio of people working for project and between people working for as a dependent person. We personally believe that co-working are the really version of working which is changing.
One last question. What frustrates you the most today in the way you're, building your project, etc.?
What frustrates me? It's I don't know what to say. What frustrates me? Like
nothing, or lots of things?
I don't know, because I'm personally convinced that we should do something that for a market is necessary. So we want to attract a market who is not served. So if we don't have this kind of answer that we want to receive, it's probably because we are not doing the things
properly
in a good way. So the point is for us is look for innovation. Look for innovation means like get the people access to something that they cannot before historically. So if we are not, if it's something that's don't frustrate me, it's because probably we are not doing the things in a good way.
Well, you're an optimistic. Nicola, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.